from Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
At least 60 countries around the world have detected the Omicron variant of COVID-19. 3 of them are the Philippines' neighbors: Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. The Bureau of Quarantine continues to monitor those who have recently traveled from South Africa before it was placed on the red list. The Health Department says 6 of the 8 Filipinos have been located. 2 of them are currently admitted in a facility. 2 are under home quarantine, while 1 has already been discharged after completing 14 days of quarantine. Government appeals to those who have yet to be traced to coordinate and cooperate with their local governments.
Napaka-importante po ng inyong kooperasyon, especially na may kinakarap po tayong itong pandemya, itong public health emergency po natin.
Despite the upward trend currently experienced by other nations, the Philippines continues to enjoy better numbers. On Friday, the Philippines recorded 379 new COVID-19 cases, the 3rd lowest tally for the year. 5 labs failed to submit their data. The National Capital Region, the country's epicenter for the coronavirus, is now minimal risk in terms of cases. While the cities of San Juan, Pasig, Parañaque, Valenzuela, and Malabon have recorded a positive 1-week growth rate, all cities in the NCR have low-risk health systems capacity. The entire country is under Alert Level 2, with Cagayan Valley, Cordillera Administrative Region, and Zamboanga Peninsula the only regions that are low risk. The rest are minimal. Improvements are not only reflected in numbers, but also in the number of hospital admissions. Data from the DOH show that from December 5 to 9, almost half of the country's hospitals have not admitted a patient for coronavirus. The One Hospital Command Center has also been receiving fewer calls. While it may be too early to say that the country is healing from the pandemic, experts believe the Philippines will eventually get there. In the meantime, current protocols remain.
Itong variant Omicron na to, ang ating measures ay pareho pa rin. In fact, we will have to be aggressive na lang siguro in doing it and comply with the public health intervention, and most especially talaga yung vaccination.
An initial laboratory study shows a COVID booster shot may be needed to defend against the Omicron variant. Pfizer-BioNTech says results indicate that 2 doses of its COVID vaccine may not be sufficient against infection with Omicron, but they can still protect against severe forms of the disease. The good news, according to Pfizer, is a 3rd jab neutralizes the new variant. The vaccine manufacturer is also monitoring the real-world effectiveness of its COVID vaccine against Omicron, while studies are still ongoing to determine the extent of protection other vaccines provide against the variant. In countries like the United Kingdom, the period of administering booster shot has been reduced from 6 months to 3 months from the 2nd dose. In the United States, the Food and Drug Administration expanded the authorization of Pfizer's COVID jab to include 16 and 17-year-olds. In the Philippines, the FDA and the Health Department said there will be no revisions yet of the recommended interval for booster unless more scientific data support it. Under the country's current guidelines, an adult should have received the 2nd shot at least 6 months ago or the single-dose Janssen vaccine at least 3 months ago to be eligible for booster.
So itong mga lumalabas ngayon ng mga artikulo na pag-iikli nitong between the 2nd and the 3rd dose, pag-aaralan naman yan ng ating mga eksperto. Pero sa ngayon na hindi pa kumpleto talaga yung mga ebidensya na yan, it's not completed yet. So ngayon, we maintain status quo.
Vaccine expert panel chairperson Dr. Nina Gloriani supports this, but says immunocompromised individuals should be allowed to receive additional COVID jab earlier depending on their doctor's assessment.
Ang nakakakita dyan sa mga pasyente nga, yung mga doktor nila. So alam nila yung medical condition, kung medyo siyempre tingin nila hindi maganda naging immunity nito doon sa first 2 doses, they will have to consider.
Meanwhile, the expansion of booster coverage to include 16 and 17-year-olds in the country will be considered in the future, according to Gloriani. But for now, administering the primary vaccine series to a bigger number of the Philippine population remains to be the priority.
Ang younger individuals, so especially these children, maganda immune response yan. So when did they start? October lang, no? October, November, 2 months pa lang. We don't expect the antibodies to wane that soon. So hindi pa natin i-consider yan at this time, but maybe later.
Meanwhile, the health department clarifies the death of 3 children who got vaccinated for COVID-19 were unrelated to receiving the jabs. The minors were aged 12 to 17.
One died because of a non-COVID-19 pneumonia, another died because of dengue, and another died because of tuberculosis.
Of the target 77 million Filipinos, or 70% of the population, over 40 million were fully vaccinated.
Civil society groups in the Philippines marked International Human Rights Day with protests. Human rights defenders and Rise Up Philippines converged in front of the Quezon City Hall with relatives of those killed during the Duterte administration's anti-drug operations. They formed a human chain and called on the Philippine government to stop the killings. Philippine Alliance of Human Rights Advocates, or PARA, meanwhile vowed to stop the possible return of the Marcoses and Dutertes in the seats of power.
Kahapon lang, yung Korte Suprema, kinatigan yung anti-terror law. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Inaasahan natin ang lalo't higit malawakang paglabag sa karapatang pantao dahil mismo ang Korte Suprema tumatig sa gobyernong pumapatay.
Various groups also held a rally at the University of the Philippines in Diliman, calling for the government to abolish the Anti-Terror Act of 2020. They also demand justice for victims of extrajudicial killings. Bayan Secretary General Renato Reyes said the latest ruling of the Supreme Court declaring only 2 parts of the anti-terror law unconstitutional is just a partial victory for the petitioners. Reyes warns dangerous provisions of the anti-terror law remain and can still be abused by the Anti-Terror Council.
Karamihan sa mga provisions nandoon pa rin. So yung warrantless arrest, yung prescription, yung pwede kang ipakulong ng 25 days na walang kaso, ang daming malalabag na karapatan dahil nandiyan pa rin yung mga mapangalit na provision ng terrorism.
Johanna Abwa joined the rally in UP Diliman. She is the wife of kilusang magbubukid ng Pilipinas member Steve Abwa, who was allegedly abducted by armed men in November.
Ang sabi po sa akin ng mga dumukot sa tawag, gamit po yung number ng asawa ko. Nakawak daw po nila yung asawa ko, dinukot nila. At tulungan ko daw po sila na kumbinsihin na sumirang doon si bilang NP.
Karapatan Secretary General Cristina Palabay also had these words for President Duterte.
Amin pong siniserve ito na warning kay Pangulong Duterte. Justice will come after you whenever and wherever. So tyrants and despots like you will soon be held accountable for your crimes against the people.
Reyes said, as one of the petitioners against the anti-terror law, they will soon file an appeal or motion for reconsideration before the High Court, hoping that more provisions of the controversial measure will also be declared unconstitutional.
Get ready for the ultimate in fresh produce, barbecue, seafood, sushi, and more. Meals made easy. Kimchi with wow. Our dishes make you a star. H-Mart.
This is the future. Forget what you know about currency, commerce, investment. The age of Bitcoin is upon us. And now anyone, anywhere can turn cash into crypto with a coin flip ATM. Booyah.
With low fees and 24/7 support, CoinFlip makes crypto so flippin' easy. Go to coinflip.tech to find an ATM near you.
Via Times, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. Via Times for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. Via Times has very interesting columnists. You name it, Via Times has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call Via Times at 773-866-0811.
Okay. Sa inyo lahat, and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have a very exciting personality, very popular entrepreneur and leader in our Chicago Filipino-American community. And her name is none other than Miss Nelia Laurel Ladlad. I invited Miss Ladlad here today. She was in our show before, but this time because she has a very new project that she wants to introduce in our community. As a matter of fact, she expects her on the Via Times December cover, which is, I think it's coming out this week.
Oh, good.
All right. Okay, Nelia, welcome to our show. Miss Nelia, I salute you for your entrepreneurial spirit. And this one right now is concerning about what? It's so exciting. Well, you have to explain to our viewing audience.
Okay, thank you, Veronica, for those kind introductions. And as always, I always commend you for your oh my God, magazine and your TV show. So of course I would not have done this in any other TV show first, but you for this new exciting project that I have. As you guys know, I've been in the senior care business since the year 2000, together with my loving and handsome husband, Dr. Eduardo Ladlad. So we have had home care and home health agencies under my leadership and under our ownership. So, well, as you know, so many difficult times that has come my way, and of course the world last year. So, but being entrepreneur in spirit, in every sense of the word, I took that opportunity to develop a dream that I have actually for the past 10 years since we've been providing senior care services. Is to develop a mobile application that will be a direct connection between the caregiver and the one needing care. See, Veronica, in the past, oh my God, it's already 22 years that I've been in the senior care business. There's been a lot of different requests, of course, from seniors and also their loved ones as to how, okay, I just want to talk to the caregiver directly. I don't want to deal with a company and so on and so forth. And that's understandable, especially with the age of electronic, that their family members can basically do everything online, interview caregivers, know exactly what they're doing to their loved ones. So this is really an answer to much been awaited requests from our own clients as well as their loved ones. So, but then with not so much time in my hands, I didn't really get to that point until last year when during the lockdown. So I gathered all my best IT team members and we developed this particular mobile application. Actually, just a little background of why I'm really so eager to do this. In 2007, when I was really up and above consulting in different parts of the US, I came across a group, actually a German group with Filipino partners in Las Vegas. And they were developing an application at that time, 2007. The name is carelinks.com. And actually I was a part of that brainstorming, 2 brainstorming sessions that they did, but I didn't realize that they're getting into this big mobile application business. And 17 years later, 2017, fast forward, I learned that carelinks.com was sold to a German company for $1 billion. So this also kind of really motivated me to say, hey, I really know exactly what they need because I was a part of this successful project. So that's basically what it is. So we have a sign up for caregivers, those who are wanting to work as a caregiver. So they can go to carenutscaregiver.com, sign up, put all your skills, how much you want to get paid for. And then there's also a part of that, which is the client's platform, wherein clients and their loved ones can go and sign up and just post a job that they need for their loved ones or for themselves as to how many days, how many hours they would need a caregiver for, or if they want a live-in, then they can do a live-in. So the caregiver will see all these postings. At the same time, the clients will also see who are the caregivers that are available in their particular location. So we're launching this nationwide. And actually, I'm a member of the National Small Business Association in Washington, D.C. I'm one of their leadership council members, and they're very excited about my project. So they are actually supporting me to launch this nationally all over the 50 states. So yeah, so clients and caregivers will get together directly, no more agencies in between them. The clients or their loved ones can interview the caregivers online, either by phone or face video conferencing. They can hire the caregiver directly, pay the caregiver directly, and carenuts.com will just act like a just like an Uber type of thing for home care. So we'll just get a part of the payment from the client. Caregiver is free of charge.
You're saying that no agents in between.
Right.
So it's only a matter of communication between the caregiver and the patient, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. So we are facilitating the meetup of the client and the caregiver. That's what CareNuts is all about.
Is this particular app really the first of its kind?
No, actually, there will be two competitors that we have in the market right now, CareNuts and CareLinks. And as I've said, I'm a part of that brainstorming sessions for carelinks.com. So what I did is, of course, make it better than these two competitors. So the one that will set us better is that we have a very strict criminal background check capability in our app. So we will really screen the caregivers, although they're not our employees. We will screen them really much so in order for us to just have caregivers that are not criminals, that are really safe. That way, we're also protecting the client themselves. At the same time, two of our competitors, Care.com and CareLinks.com, do not have a comprehensive training platform. Being in this business for 20 years, I know exactly what clients needs. Number one is the criminal background check. They want them to be safe, and we're not sending anybody who's got a criminal record. Number two is they are well-trained to care for them. So I have tackled these two big requests from clients, from our existing clients. So we will provide free training to any caregiver who will sign up for the app to make sure that when they provide a service, they are very well-trained and well-versed with what the client needs.
So what is the existing app right now? What does it have to do with the caregiver and the patient?
Care.com and carelinks.com basically does the same thing as what we will be doing. It means they got to facilitate the meeting of the caregiver and the client. So as I've mentioned, those are the three. The other third component actually that we are introducing that's not introduced with the current existing mobile application is the video conferencing. Because with them, they can only see, they can only talk to the caregiver. We put in a video conferencing capability so the client can really see the caregiver that they are interviewing before they even hire them. So how are we different from this existing one? So this is one Number 2 is the criminal background check that we provide. And number 3 is the training that we also provide.
Who trains the client, or who trains the caregiver?
CareNet, we have developed a list of training materials that we'll put in print and in video that will be accessible for free for caregivers. And we will also open this up for clients or loved ones who wants to know exactly what their loved ones need. So this training is actually free for both the clients and their families, as well as the caregivers. So it's all preset training. And this also complies with the requirements of each of the state.
Of the state?
Yes, yeah.
At the federal.
Because every state has a different requirement in order for them to be caregivers. So we have set this standard as compared to the other 2 that are existing.
You said that you have other competitors in this business?
Yes.
Is it within our state or all over?
Well, no, yeah, Care.com is a Georgia company, and CareLinks.com is a California company. Their headquarters in San Francisco. So I will be the third one in Illinois. My headquarters will be here in Illinois. So we'll be the 3 companies that will be competing with as I launch this platform. But I will be the only Asian-owned.
Oh,
the only actual difference, I'm only the minority-owned, because both are Jewish-owned. But now CareLinks is bought by a German company with Jewish owners, because I know exactly who the owners are in San Francisco. And I'm the only one. Both of these, Care.com and CareLinks, they're owned by IT companies. I'm the only one who's got really the experience to provide this service. So that is also my difference from this one, from these 2 companies. Yeah.
Yes, you are really very experienced in home health care business. But you also used to have a school for caregivers, and also you had a home health care.
Home health and home care, and an adult daycare at one time. So I actually breathed this senior care business, so actually that's a third difference from these other 2. And and they can really see in our about page in our website about our experiences. And I'm really excited about it because I've been getting a lot of investors who wants to invest already in my app. But of course, if I don't kind of need them, I wanna still shoot for that 1 billion from a buyer in 5 years. We'll see.
Yeah, looking for more investors right now, right? And
that's my retirement, Veronica.
You really are planning to really go big. Of course, why not, right?
Yeah.
And, what is your projection about this business? I mean, I know you wanted it to be big. You want to go public or what specifically?
Okay. Well, in 5 years, actually, or less, I kind of want to go in an IPO, which is public, in a company. But then what I really want to accomplish is to, in a year time, to be in all these 50 states, and in 3 years to be global. So and 5 years to be public, and hopefully to be bought by somebody, by a company. That's my plan.
Oh la la!
I'm selling this in 5 years, so I really have to do whatever I can for these next 5 years.
That's the projection. You'll sell it in 5 years.
Yes, yes.
And after 5 years, what are your plans?
I'm just going to be enjoying my life.
Oh. Well, Nelia, you have been an inspiration in our community with what you're doing, a real model. And so I'm really so proud of your new project. And I know that it's going to be a successful one. And it will be helping a lot of people, the caregivers and the patients, and what else? Also, you're going to be, you are a pioneer. Even though you have competitors, you are really a pioneer, right?
I'll be one of the, because when there's less than 10 people, 10 companies doing a new project, you're kind of one of the pioneers, and I'm definitely will be one of them, so I'm really excited, and so excited that I'm getting also some offers from a San Jose company to fund my project. But as I've said, I don't want to get to their fund money until I get this bigger offer later on in 5 years, now that I can still sustain this company. I'm so grateful that I'm surrounded by good, talented IT team that I'm working with for the past year and a half. And, my 20 years of experience is kind of getting into this also action on how to do this the right way. So we're still really, kind of smoothing up every operation. But once we're in full blast, you'll kind of be the first one to know, hopefully in about a few days or so. But I really appreciate the opportunity that you've given me. But I just want to add also, Veronica, in March, actually I got a grant to give awards to caregivers. So this is actually my giving back to the caregiver community, actually. So we're doing that Caregivers Awards night in March. So you'll be the first one to know when and where it will be.
Let me know. So we can really let the community know about it. And that's sounds like a good project.
Because, that's a niche that we have. So I really I salute all the caregivers, not only Filipinos and Asians, but everybody who's been in the caregiving business. It's really a very, very, it's almost like they're the new heroes. I remembered the late John F. Kennedy, and because her mother had Filipino caregivers, and I would follow always his writing in his book, in his magazine. And, he would say that all the caregivers are the new heroes of the new world. So I really feel that they are really true heroes. So I want to salute them with this awards night.
It's really a very honorable job. And I'm glad that we really have some good caregivers in our midst. Okay, Nelia, I salute you for what you're doing. And I wish you good luck, more good luck. And Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you too. And Merry Christmas to your wonderful viewers. I know they always love to tune into your programs. You're the best.
Thank you for gracing our show. And we'll see you around one of these. Okay, Nelia.
Thank you, Veronica. Maligayang Pasko po sa inyong lahat. Merry Christmas.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baletna Jewellery. We have a very big selection of 21-karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and
Hello, viewers. Once again, this is Pastor Ed Cortez from Faith Family Worship Center in Chicago. You know, I have been going through the book of Isaiah these past days, and I would like to share with you the story of King Hezekiah. All right, his story is found in chapter 38 and 39 of the book of Isaiah. Hezekiah was the 13th king of Judah. He was one of Judah's godly kings. He initiated a lot of spiritual reforms by demolishing idolatry worship in Judah and calling for priests and Levites to sanctify themselves for service unto the Lord. Well into his reign, he experienced a serious illness. The prophet Isaiah informed him that he would die. And this is what Isaiah said to him: "Set your affairs in order, for you are going to die. You will not recover from this illness." Well, Hezekiah turned his face to the wall, and he prayed, and then he broke down and wept bitterly. And this is what he said: "Remember, O Lord, how I have always been faithful to you and have served you single-mindedly, always doing what pleases you." Well, God heard his prayers and gave him, amazingly, an additional 15 years of life. Now God doesn't do this all the time. He's sovereign of all, and we have to humbly submit to his plans and purposes, no matter what they are. In reality, many of us have been given a lease on life on many occasions. If we have recovered from sickness, or God has rescued us from certain accidents, we can say that God has given us a new lease on life, and there's a reason for that. Well, because God extended King Hezekiah's life, he wrote a thanksgiving prayer and a song of praise. And this beautiful prayer is found in chapter 38 of Isaiah. And if you have the chance, read it. It's a beautiful, powerful prayer. And I'm just going to go quickly over his prayer and point out three things. There are three remarkable things about the prayer of Hezekiah in chapter 38 of Isaiah. First, we will notice in his prayer that God gave him a new appreciation of life. He started his prayer with these words in verse 10. "I said, in the prime of my life, must I now enter the place of the dead? Am I to be robbed of the years, of the rest of my years?" The lesson for us here is that when God saves us from certain harm or accident, when he heals us from our sicknesses and diseases, we should learn to appreciate the value and meaning of life more. God has rescued us so many times, like what I said in the past. He healed and restored us from many sicknesses before. Let's use the remaining days of our lives to love him, and serve his people. The second thing we could see in the prayer of Hezekiah after he experienced the miracle of God in his life is that he had a new appreciation of prayer. He said in verses 13 and 14, "I waited patiently all night. My eyes grew tired of looking to heaven for help. I am in trouble. Lord, help me." See, with these words, we see that King Hezekiah had a new appreciation of prayer. If anything, sicknesses and trials and tribulations in this life should teach us to pray fervently and passionately. Hezekiah's prayer became more fervent and passionate. When we experience troubles in life, they should lead us to pray more and depend upon God more. Then lastly, the third thing that the prayer of Hezekiah shows us is that after he was given another lease on life, he had a new appreciation of opportunities for service. He said in verse 15, "Now I will walk humbly throughout my years. Lord, your discipline is good, for it leads to life and health. You restore my health and allow me to live. I will sing his praises every day of my life in the temple of the Lord." See, there was a new humility in King Hezekiah's walk, a deeper love for the Lord in his heart, and a new song of praise on his lips. So I'd like to end this short devotional with this verse found in Psalm 90, verse 12. Teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. God bless you, my friends, and see you next time.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Hi, I'm Dr. Harold C. with the Chicago Eye Institute. We're located here at 5086 North Elston Avenue. In this segment, I wanted to discuss with you a disease which affects 34 million Americans, and that disease is diabetes. The CDC estimates 27 million Americans have been diagnosed with diabetes, which leaves a whopping 7 million that have gone undiagnosed. In fact, approximately 88 million Americans have been diagnosed with pre-diabetes. That's approximately 1/3 of the entire US population. So, how does diabetes affect the eyes? Well, diabetes affects the body by causing damage to the blood vessels. In fact, it causes damage to the lining of the blood vessels. Now, those blood vessels, which affect the end organs, are affected first, such as the hands, the toes, and especially the eyes. What happens is that as the lining of the blood vessels become affected, these vessels become leaky. And so we're looking for any leakage or bleeding inside the eye. So it's important that if you've been diagnosed with prediabetes or diabetes, that you come in for a dilated exam so we can find out whether or not you have any signs of diabetic retinopathy. Now, for the most part, most patients with diabetes have no problems in the back of the eyes. And in fact, most patients leave here with just the instructions of keeping their blood sugars under control. The numbers as ophthalmologists that we aim for is 120 blood sugar on a daily basis. Hemoglobin A1C, which is a more accurate measurement of how well the blood sugar has been controlled, ideally should be 7.0 or under. Now, that control can be dealt with your primary care physician. If we do detect any leakage or bleeding in the back of the eyes, it's important then that we send you to see a retina specialist to determine how much and where. And in fact, the treatment may consist of injections inside the eyes, lasers, or even surgery. So if your diagnosis is diabetes, or if your doctor says you are on the cusp, it's important to make an appointment and come on in to see me. We're here again at 5086 North Elston Avenue at the Chicago Eye Institute. Feel free to call us at 773-282-2000, or you can find us online at thechicagoeyeinstitute.com. Again, I'm Dr. C, and thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. This is Bridget Carino-Quetter bringing you this week's local news from our community. A man was arrested early Wednesday on suspicion that he set on fire a 50-foot-tall Christmas tree outside the Fox News headquarters in Midtown Manhattan, the New York Police Department said. Fox News security personnel called police shortly after midnight when they saw a man climbing the tree at 6th Avenue and 48th Street, police said. When officers arrived on the scene, they saw a man, identified as Craig Taminaha, 49, running from the tree and arrested him. He faces charges including arson, trespassing, and disorderly conduct. Firefighters extinguished the fire, and no one was injured in the incident. The red, white, and blue themed tree was decorated with 10,000 glass ornaments and 100,000 lights. It took workers 21 hours to assemble, the network said. The Omicron variant appears to be no worse than other coronavirus strains, top scientists from the World Health Organization and the United States told AFP, while cautioning that more research is needed to judge its severity. The hopeful assessments came as global concern grew over the heavily mutated variant, which has forced dozens of nations to reimpose border restrictions and raise the possibility of a return to economically punishing lockdowns. While it is likely more transmissible than previous variants, the preliminary data don't indicate that this is more severe, the World Health Organization's second-in-command told AFP. In fact, if anything, the direction is towards less severity. WHO Emergencies Director Michael Ryan said in an interview on Wednesday, insisting, though, that more research was needed. Here's a new report from KTCB looking at the U.S. locations with the largest percentage of households without broadband internet. One of the most significant items in the new $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill is a $65 billion allocation to improve access and affordability for broadband internet. Broadband access is highly correlated to a variety of demographic and economic factors, particularly income and race. Access is also closely related to geography. Researchers ranked U.S. metropolitan areas according to the percentage of households without broadband. The report includes a 20-year breakdown of access by income, as well as by race/ethnicity. The analysis found that 25.2% of Chicago metro households don't have broadband, compared to 29.2% of households at the national level. In fact, 9.6% of Chicago metro households have no internet at all. More than 180,000 fewer Illinoisans are looking for work than there were 2 years ago. And that's one reason behind the flood of help wanted signs around every corner. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows Illinois' unemployment rate for October was 6%. While that's down from the year before where it was 8.1% in October 2020 and down from the pandemic high of 16.5% in April 2020, it's still higher than the national average of 4.6% for October 2021. That doesn't tell the whole story for Illinois. The unemployment rate only shows those who are actively seeking employment getting unemployment benefits. Another labor statistic is the labor force participation rate that shows the total number of eligible workers compared to those that are employed. In October 2019, there were 6.4 million eligible workers in Illinois for a labor force participation rate of 64.1%. Flash forward to October 2021, there are 6.2 million, or 62.8%. That's a difference of more than 182,000 working-age people participating in the labor force. Cook County Treasurer Maria Papas has posted the first installment tax year 2021 bills on cookcountytreasurer.com. The first installment, which is 55% of the previous year's total tax, is due March 1st, 2022. By providing an early look at the bills, property owners can plan their finances or make payments before the end of the year. During the holiday season, it's good to think about what bills will come due in the new year, Papa said. My office is committed to helping taxpayers keep their homes, and seeing these bills early allows people to think ahead about their budgets. You can download your tax bill and make a payment by visiting cookcountytreasurer.com and following these steps. Select the blue box labeled Pay Online for Free. Enter your address or 14-digit property index number, PIN, There is no fee if you pay from your bank account. The Treasurer's Office accepts partial payments, but first installment taxes must be paid by March 1st to avoid a late charge of 1.5% per month, as mandated by Illinois law. That's all for today. Thank you for watching your news this week. This is Bridget. See you next time.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. This is Melody Dizon, your Health Matters host. And today I do have a special guest for you guys. I know it's been a while that I haven't seen you, or maybe you haven't seen me, but here I am. And my special guest today is no other than Satish John. He is from Alora Home Health Software. And I just had the pleasure of meeting him yesterday. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. And basically his business is giving software to and providing software to home health agencies. So we're here today just to kind of talk about a little bit about the Alora Home Health and how it can help, or how it has helped other agencies. So good afternoon.
Hello.
How
Thank
are you
you.
doing?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for being, okaying me to do this with you.
Well,
so I was
for
telling,
the opportunity. Yeah.
Sure. So telling people about Alora Home Health Software. What made you think to do this business? What you're doing now? What pushed you? What moved you?
Yes. In 2005, I started Alora. Prior to starting Alora, I was exploring which aspect of healthcare I could develop a software, because my background was software development and I was in the healthcare industry for a long time. So after exploring different areas of healthcare, I identified that the growth potential for home healthcare is phenomenal. And also, there were no good software that were easy to use and offered at an affordable cost. So we wanted to solve the problem, providing home health software at an affordable cost for home health agencies for all aspects of their operation, including the financial, clinical, and operational aspects.
I think that is great. And truly, there is such a need, because home health care is here and will stay for a long time. But on top of that, there are regulations to be followed. There are compliance to be, compliance to set, and you have to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, because Medicare is our provider, is the one that's helping us. What Mr. John has told me earlier, that the reason and the birth of Alora Home Health Software is the fact that there's a need, right? Number one. There's a lot of home health agencies out there that will benefit from using your software, from financial aspect to clinical and to the operational side of things, which on my case, it's very helpful and very beneficial. And obviously the pricing is not that high. So
yeah, exactly.
So I see a lot of, technology is technology, right? You get so many information from technology, but doing what you do you think, how could it help the healthcare system by having developed the software?
So the ultimate goal for the software is that better care for the patients and operational efficiency for the agency, right? So you don't want agencies to hire too many staff to run their agency, because the payment is limited, and you want to be as efficient as possible. And when your caregivers go in the field and when they do the documentation, you want a solution that is user-friendly for them to use, and also guide them with the compliance. You know, they help them to do their notes according to the plan of care, and if a caregiver doesn't complete the note, the system should validate and make sure that the document is complete. So that facilitates better patient care, and also that the ease of use helps the agency run their operations better. We use this motto: when work gets easier, there is no limit to what you can achieve.
I must agree.
So, right, yes. So that's the motto we operate by to make things easier for the agency.
Oh, that is lovely, because no, truly, it drives better outcomes. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It drives better clinical decision making, because you have this information from the last visit, and this was the information from 2 weeks visit, and you look at things, summarize, compound everything, and say, okay, well, this is the best for the patient.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and I really think that will help with our healthcare situation. And the one thing too that I wanted to share is the fact that we're doing the data mining. When we data mine, and data mining, for people who don't know what that is, you know, it's the clinical information that we put on the software, and then when somebody tries to open that software or goes to the patient's chart, everything is there already.
Yeah,
you don't want redundancy, right? No redundancy.
Yeah.
And you want to avoid any errors or anything like that.
Right. The data mining is very important to see the patient's outcome, whether the patient is improving from 2 months ago or declining. So the software can make it easy to see visually. For example, Allura has a tool called Vitals Dashboard that can show all their vitals for over a period of time to see overall if the patient is improving, is their sugar level improving, is their wound healing,
correct,
all of that. Yes,
that's true. You know, and I really think the kids nowadays can maybe take away from this, that whatever they're trying to do, it will all make sense later on. Maybe probably when you started, you're like, oh, I don't know how is this gonna, you know, make out there with whatever you're doing, but it's technology and science together in one.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that something that's so nice?
Yeah, it's amazing. We think that our goal is to bridge the gap between technology and healthcare.
That's good.
And that's what we try to do. And when we started Allura back in 2005, we started with a basic back office solution.
Sure.
But as we started adding more and more customers, the system evolved based on the feedback from customers using it every day. So with the help of customers, it was easier to see what makes life easier for the agency staff. So the software kind of steadily matured according to that.
That's good. Yeah. So do you have any words or any kind of encouragement to our teenagers as to what they have to say regarding who's going to be going to college, and anything that you can impart to them?
Yeah. So when we started Allura, it appeared as an impossible task to cover all aspects of a home health agency operation into one software solution. But how we were able to achieve that was that keep working hard, focusing on a little bit every day, take baby steps in improving what you have or what you do every single day. It's not hard to make a slight improvement every single day, but over a period of a long time, you look back and you would feel surprised that the long way you came from.
That's right.
You know, you can make big achievement by just taking baby steps every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you foresee the future? How do you think, or where do you think we will be between technology and science? I mean, I know that's a vast question.
Yeah.
Because there's just it's all to your taking, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the future for home health care is very bright because everybody, all patients, they want to spend their time at home rather than anywhere else. So is it possible to do acute care at patients' home?
Yes.
Right now, it's not easy. It is possible, but technology is going to evolve and make it more and more easier
and doable
to take care of patients, even in acute care. At home. So I feel that the technology will help to make home health care for everyone in many aspects of healthcare. That's what I think. Yeah.
Wow. I could only foresee it and I go, oh my gosh, the future is bright for everyone. Well, I do thank you for this time, Mr. John. Thank you for this opportunity that you've given me, and for the folks that you're hearing about this, people in the home health industry or in healthcare, Allura home health software is good. It's very, very good. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, I'll see you next time. Take care.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.